Okay, everyone, we're about to get started. If we can close the back door and side doors, whoever's closest to the side doors, I greatly appreciate it. And silence our cell phones as I am doing. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We are on the record. Today is Monday, the 8th day of January in the year 2024. This is a City Council caucus meeting of the Jersey City Municipal Council. We had a scheduled 4 p.m. start. The clock on my cell phone is showing 4:07 p.m. May we have a roll call for the commencement of this caucus? Councilperson Ridley.
Here.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Here.
Councilperson Baggiano is not here? Okay, thank you. Councilperson Saleh. Okay. Councilperson Solomon. Congratulations on Pittsburgh making the playoffs. Councilperson Gilmore.
Present.
Councilperson DeGise.
Here.
Councilperson Rivera again.
Here.
Congratulations.
Here.
Steelers making playoffs. And Council President Waterman. We have 7 council members in attendance at 4:07 p.m. On behalf of Council President Waterman and the members of the Municipal Council, in accordance with New Jersey Public Laws of 1975, Chapter 231, the Open Public Meetings Act, also known as the Sunshine Law, adequate notice of this meeting has provided by the posting on the bulletin board of the first floor of City Hall, the annual notice, which is the schedule of meetings and caucuses of the Municipal Council for the calendar year 2024, and filed in the office of the City Clerk on Thursday, November 30th, 2023. In addition, at its time of its preparation, the agenda of this meeting was similarly disseminated on Friday, January 5th, 2024 at 2:43 p.m. to the Mayor, Municipal Council, Business Administrator, Corporation Council, and local newspapers, and posted on the city's website so I can certify as to our total compliance with the Sunshine Law. Council President, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Good afternoon. Our first director is Director Shea.
Good afternoon, Council. Happy New Year to everybody. The Department of Public Safety has 3 resolutions on the council agenda today. The first one is agenda item 10.13, resolution 24-015. It's a resolution authorizing the award of a contract to Lawman Supply for the purchase and delivery of ammunition for the police department, 9mm, and it is under New Jersey state contract, the same one that the state police use. It's in a total amount of $69,670.02, and the funds are in the operating account. Second resolution is item number 10.14. It's resolution 24-016. It authorizes the Department of Public Safety's Division of Fire to apply and accept funding to Community Affairs Fiscal Year 23 American Rescue Plan Firefighter Grant. This is the grant that gives us $4,500 to replace contaminated gear throughout the year. It's a straight grant, no matching funds. And our final item number is agenda number 10.15. It's resolution 24-017. It ratifies the award of a contract to SHI International Corp. For maintenance and software upgrades for the Dell Rail and Isilon storage units under the state contract for the Department of Public Safety, Division of Communications and Technology Center. It's in the amount of $61,360.46. The funds are in the operating account, and this is basically the memory for our entire computer systems. Thank you very much, Council President, council members.
Good afternoon, President Waterman, members of the council. Happy New Year. I have one resolution before you today, 24-014, 10.12. Resolution will authorize the award of a contract to Millennium Communications Group to repair and replace a CCTV camera located on the Hudson River waterfront. Contract will include the repair and reinstall of the video camera and surveillance pole, installation of an outdoor high-speed PTZ camera along with peripherals. Associated cost is $24,481.13. and this is funded under the 2022 UASI grant.
Thank you.
Council, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I have two resolutions to present before you. The first item number is 10.23, resolution number 24-025. This is a resolution renewing a contract with Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield to provide dental open insurance for active employees and retirees. The next item number is 10.24. This is resolution number 24-026. This is a resolution authorizing the renewal of the contract with Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield for the close to provide dental close insurance for active employees and retirees. Thank you.
Tyrone Richardson.
Good afternoon, evening, council members. I'm here before you. This is with the ordinance hearing the second reading, 15-29, 4.1, ordinance 23-018. This is the ordinance supplementing chapter 160, section 1, with the fees established, subsection 10, establishing a fee schedule for lead-based hazard inspections and rental units pursuant to the new PL 2021 C.182 and amending chapter 254 property maintenance to include the registration of properties for compliance under the Lead Hazard Control Assistance Act. All right, thank you guys. Have a great one.
Good evening, council members. For your consideration, I have one resolution. It is resolution number 24-003, agenda number 10.1. It is a resolution authorizing approval of calendar year 2024 temporary budget. Any questions?
Sorry, just want to confirm, this is the 26.5% budget for the first quarter?
That is correct.
Okay, and there's no deviations from it? It's
No deviation, the standard routine resolution.
great, thanks.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council President and council members. I have one item on the agenda tonight, agenda 10.24, resolution 24.027. It's a resolution authorizing an amendment to a contract with LS Engineering Associates for continued professional services for Pavonia Marion Park improvements. It's just a contract extension because their contract is about to expire.
10.25.
I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Good night.
Council President and Council, Happy New Year. The first resolution, 10.16, Resolution 24-018. It's a resolution authorizing the payment of a claim submitted by Air Brake and Equipment for the rental of refrigerated vans for Meals on Wheels. This is a 2021 claim that's being paid for out of DCD funding that was recouped in 2022, and it just took so long for us to get the funds that this is a claims because it went over the year that we had to pay it. But it is completely paid for out of COVID money. Number 1017, a resolution authorizing the city's Department of Health and Human Services to apply and accept the Burn Discretionary Community Project funding. This is the congressional appropriation that we've received. This is $500,000 that works directly for peaceful families. That's our domestic violence program. And the next is 1018, Reso 24020, a resolution authorizing again the city's Department of Health and Human Service to apply and accept the funds from ACF, OPRE, Office of Discretionary Grants. This is Child Care Research Grant. This is also a congressional appropriation for $500,000 that funds the facilitators for the Peaceful Families Program, our domestic violence program. So this funding for both of these programs allow us to continue funding the program through the end of 2024. 1019, resolution authorizing the city's Department of Health and Human Services to accept a donation from Stern Brethren Co. to help support Meals on Wheels program with home delivered meals. This was a gift from a local brokerage firm that's based in Baltimore that has clients in Jersey City, and every year they pick a few cities where they do business and they offer donations. And so this was just a donation for $500 goes into the donation fund of Meals on Wheels. 1020, a resolution authorizing the city of Jersey City to accept a donation of toiletry items to aid the health and well-being within our community from the Jersey City Free Public Library Foundation. This is about around $4,000 worth of toiletries that'll go into the health and hygiene buses across the city during the winter months. We have difficulties getting heat and water in the buses. So we make sure we are giving out more and more toiletries. Toiletries aren't really covered under any of our grants. And at the end of the year, there was, the budget closes on the 8th. So the public library has donated some toiletries for us to use over the holidays. 1021. Resolution 24023, a resolution authorizing the execution of an MOU with NYU in connection with an unpaid internship for educational credit with the NYU School of Global Public Health. We have an interested intern that is a local resident that worked, I guess, summers in recreation that is interested in being an intern for credit for one of their classes. And so we're trying to make that happen. Then I have more resolutions. Um, 1030, a resolution authorizing a payment of a claim submitted by the Hudson Regional Health Commission for providing broad range of environmental health services in 2021 pursuant to the county's Environmental Health Act. We were charged this fee and we, I guess, erroneously paid early 2022 when we were supposed to pay 2021. And then the PO was closed, but we still owe Hudson Regional for the final quarter of 2021. And that was when we were having a transition of finance officers. So we just want to make Hudson Regional whole. And we had to wait for funding to be available in our budget. And actually 1029, a resolution authorizing a shared service agreement with the town of Gutenberg pursuant into the Uniform Shared Service and Consolidation Act for the city of Jersey City to provide the town of Gutenberg with services for animal control and sheltering. Gutenberg has an animal control officer on site. They do not have sheltering services in the transition of Liberty Humane. They have requested that we shelter animals that are abandoned from their community. We have a small contract that we presented to you based on the numbers that they had last year, which was like less than 24 animals that needed shelter.
So what happened in the instance let's say that threshold is a dozen, or you said 2 dozen or a dozen?
Throughout the year, their total service needs from last year was about 24 animals.
About 24. What happened in the instance if they exceed that? Do we take the dog in or the animal in, or what happens?
So the goal at the shelter is to get people to adopt animals and or foster animals. So there would never be, or our goal is to never have so many animals that we can't help and support our neighbors. We took on the shelter January 1st. We walked in, there were 0 animals alive in the shelter. We have some that were waiting. Right now we only have 3 cats. Yes, we have 2 dogs and 4 cats. So we're kind of taking a look at how things are coming in. Really, what we have to hold on to is HELO cases. Those are the humane law enforcement cases. Those are the cruelty cases. So we can foster those out for support, which we did this week. We have 1 foster going on right now. That is a case that we are investigating. And other than that, we really want people to come and adopt animals. We won't be ready with the vet to spay and neuter the animals in there until the 18th. So after that, the ones that are there are many people that are already, kind of calling us interested in fostering. We already have a list of about 24 volunteer foster and walkers. So our goal is really to not keep the shelter full and to really engage the community to adopt and foster animals.
I do have another question unrelated to that particular ordinance. Oh, you have a question about?
Oh, no, Denise.
Oh, Denise.
With Guttenberg, was Liberty Humane working with them before? This is our very first time taking.
No, Liberty Humane was not working with them. They were working with another provider who is local. And every year that provider doubled their cost. And so they thought for the cost of really the needs that they had on a shelter side, it wasn't worth the funds. Just to be very transparent, we have been communicating with all municipalities that we're not happy with their services, whether it be Liberty Humane or other humane societies in the area. And we have brought this to the attention of the county executive several years ago. Before we went out and got a vendor to do animal control, we reached out to the former county executive, and we are hoping that there is a bigger vision to support in a more comprehensive way, because to say we can't help Bayonne, when they're right next door is really difficult, right? One of the first calls we got on January 1st was a 4-dog surrender, and we don't service Bayonne at this time. But Bayonne has an RFP out for services. To some people aren't happy with their current services, and they have an RFP out. We spoke to Hoboken last week, and we'll probably present something to you on the 24th. And
so with because we're just taking this back on, we're fully staffed enough and equipped enough to now take on these other cities. We don't think it'll be too much too quick.
With every city, there's funding attached to pay for what they ask. So we are fully staffed, except for, I think we're still looking for 1 animal control officer. So we still have, we're still interviewing. And the dollars that it would cost others is to add staff. And we're not doing that with our current staff. But I mean, the county in itself is in a, let's call it like a shelter desert. There's not enough space anywhere for the number of abandoned animals and or surrenders. And that's why we're really focused on pet care and support and why we implemented those fees in the last several meetings to have like low cost veterinary care, because vet care is very expensive. And this is one of the most primary reasons why people surrender their animals. So if we can like help people keep their animals, that's going to be also a much more robust way for us to do business.
Director, are you aware, of what is that the state shared service program, and I think it's.
Oh, the share, yes, I understand Erica communicated with our health officer related to this, yes. I don't know if animal control is covered, but that would be up to the agency that wants to do business with us, because we still will take in the money for that added service. Yes.
Director, has the sort of advisory board been set up?
I just got some follow-up from Paul today. He had been interviewing people and asking individuals because we wanted to make sure that it was, you know, as diverse as possible. We're still seeking someone to represent Ward B and Ward F. And so we reached out to a few people in those communities. And if you have some recommendations, feel free to send them my way. But we, just because there's this a very prolific cat community already engaged, we reached out to some of them that had already sort of told us they were interested. For the council, you know, I think President Waterman suggested Councilwoman Mira Prinzeri, and she declined that role. And Councilwoman Amy DeGeese, and she's accepted that role. So Rich Boggiano had said a few things to us, so we thought that might be a great next step. But if there's anyone else on the council that feels that that's the role for them, they can share that with us and we'll talk to her.
And sort of connected to that, I think, you know, I've received a few questions about, I think we've hired a new shelter director.
Yep.
And that person's, you know, just understanding what their vision is. And
Their vision is my vision.
Sure.
So I'd like to make that very clear.
Sure.
A shelter manager, someone who manages staff. The vision of Mayor Fulop is
Sure.
executed throughout our department in a chain of command.
Sure.
And
Then let me
that our vision
sure, but
is,
let me rephrase the vision of the governing body of the
Yeah.
council. And I think there are concerns about statements that have been made. And so I'd
Mhm.
love the opportunity to meet with you and her and ask those questions and take it extremely seriously
Mhm.
that there is a clear vision for how the shelter is going to be run.
Yes.
And to make sure that we are doing everything we can to ensure the welfare of the animals under its care.
Mhm.
So I think that I would like that opportunity. And as a council,
Sure.
we have the ability to request members of the administration come before us. So I'd like to work with you on that in the
Yeah,
next 2 weeks
absolutely.
or bring a resolution before the
Yeah,
council.
I just want to make,
No, but I'm not finished
Yeah.
speaking, Director. You interrupted me earlier.
sorry.
Please don't do that again. So I'd like to have either the council bring a resolution before to bring you and the shelter director to speak to us, or work to set that up in the next 2 weeks.
That's great. Happy to do that. However, I'd like to make it very clear that there's a division director. The shelter manager reports into a division director. And I just want to make that, you know, clear that there is a pathway. And I think sometimes when people are unhappy with former employees and employers, things wind up in the paper that aren't essentially accurate. And so I want to be respectful to the division director as well.
We can do it for all three folks.
Direct, I do, just with regards, I see that there's this, resolution authorized cancellation of, unexpended budget appropriation balance, and I'm looking at a lot of them, and some of them, this is, resolution 10.3, but the thing is, they have a lot of, but the thing is, let me finish. The thing is that when we have these Vivian can't speak to why each department didn't spend the allocated money. So that's why we need for the directors to get quiet, because I'm looking And I'm literally about to lose my mind. I'm seeing almost $1 million allocated somewhere that wasn't used. And I'm just trying to figure out, I'm looking at WIC services, over $100,000 that wasn't used. And municipal drug alliance money that wasn't used. And I'm just trying to understand why wasn't the money used. So I don't know if.
Yeah, so
she'll
I'm
be
happy
able
to, yeah,
explain it.
absolutely happy to share. WIC in particular, the money that is allocated for WIC is allocated for 3 bilingual nutritionists. We are finding great difficulty hiring. So this is a hiring issue. We went back to HR, we increased the salary, but in addition, it's either not enough or the way we do work is not, most nutritionists across the state and working for WIC have the ability to work from home. So we're struggling with WIC nutritionists. It's very rote, and that's where most people start their nutrition career, but that's not where they end their nutrition career. So we see a lot of people come and they leave to do their dietetic internship. They come back because they have to come back for the 6 months because we gave them time to leave for their dietetic internship. And so we're consistently running short on nutritionists on our staff that are bilingual in the WIC program.
So this 100,000 for the.
It's probably
most part speaks-
$400,000.
But it speaks, these are for salaries, they're not necessarily services, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, salaries. Yeah.
Okay.
Municipal Drug Alliance, it's not a whole lot of money, and that was due to a special grant that we got. And when we transitioned, we lost a staff member. That person was Tamika McReynolds. She left, she went to the county. And then we gave the program over to recreation. And when we did that, they didn't approve all of the salaries at once. So we had to retrain the team, and we get paid per person we serve in the community. And that particular program was related to in high school mental health first aid courses. And, the school system kind of kept moving around the finish line for the Department of Recreation.
Okay, and do you know what it says Child's Health CLPPP?
Yes, that's a child-led poisoning prevention program.
It's about,
That also, there was some money there because we were looking to hire a lead investigator. In fact, the lead investigator was just hired like 3 weeks ago. So we were without a lead investigator full-time on that since February, when Chuck Mays was promoted to director of the division. The state has delays in training for the lead abatement certificate. And we were only able to send 1 staff member to that program all year. That staff member is now manager of animal control.
well, in the interest of time, I reach out personally just to address some of these. But in the future, if the administration can make sure that when we're not spending this money, at least have some type of documentation attached to give the rationale as to why it wasn't spent. Just so when people say, hey, we didn't spend this amount of money, at least as a elected representative, we'll say, hey, we didn't spend it because it's hard to find a bilingual person to work with.
Yeah,
Not
that one
we're just
particular, we were
money.
looking for bilingual lead inspector. Some of these civil service titles are very particular and very hard to fill. Another way that you would see money not spent, and one of those examples you'll see in we didn't spend like $900,000 in injury prevention because we allocated money last year for the 911, and we didn't go into any, relationship with any vendor. Sometimes we also put money in the budget and we hedge our bets because we're applying for grants. And sometimes we don't know the total number of grants that we're going to get in the year. And because the budget is due in November, and some of our grants are not guaranteed or awarded to us until a later date, which the example of these two that I presented today for $1 million, we were operating under the assumption because they told us we were getting it, but we haven't gotten the actual paperwork. So we can't submit that paperwork to Vivian because we didn't get the federal required documents in place.
But to the councilman's point, he's correct. There should be some type of summary attached to why.
Right. In respect for your time, we'll make sure in the future, finance works with the department directors just to have a brief summary of those different, expenditures that have been transferred.
Stacy, how long has that bilingual position been open?
It was open for over a year.
But so is it a criteria that you must be bilingual to have that?
Well, one is a criteria, you must have the lead abatement certification to be paid for out of the lead grant. And so we didn't have anyone that was applying. We could bring in an inspector, but we couldn't send any more of our inspectors to training. So we keep trying to get a training for all of our inspectors so we never have this problem again, so that everyone gets lead trained, but then you have to take the test and then you have to get the certification. So we have in the past sent staff to training and they didn't pass the test. Or we've sent staff to training, like there's someone in our WIC program that's bilingual Arabic speaking, went through the program, took the test, passed the test, but the state would not award her the title because they felt that she didn't have enough investigations in her dossier. So
my question is, can that position be filled with anyone other than it being bilingual? Because
no, at this point, due to the number of people we serve that don't speak English in the lead program, which a majority of the individuals we serve are either speaking Arabic, Urdu, or Spanish, we just need more languages.
So if there's like a lead contamination, right? And I don't think it's the inspector.
Well, lead contamination different. This is,
Well, I mean, so if it's a lead situation, would it be the inspector engaging with the person or would it be somebody else?
This program is for children under the age of 5, where we go into their house and we sit with their family and talk to them. So we want someone that's speaking their language. And so we have one person on our team that speaks Spanish, 2 people on our team that speak Spanish, 1 person on our team that speaks Tagalog. And we're really interested in an Arabic speaking lead inspection.
But this is my final question.
Yep.
So is it not filled because of money?
No, the money's there and the money will only go to an investigator that's approved by the state. So this is this one's very particular because it needs to be approved by the state. The state gives us all the money, 100% of the money for this program, up to and including all of the benefits for this individual. This grant even pays for a portion of the annex rent and cleaning, but we couldn't fill the position. It just took us a while to find someone in the position. We tried to train someone up internally, and that didn't work.
Questions? Thanks, Stacy.
Thanks.
Council President, before you call the next person, I just want to record Councilperson Saleh present at 4:23 p.m. So we now have 8 council members present. Thank you.
Vivian?
Good evening, Council President and Council. I'm here to present one item, which is Agenda 10.3, Resolution 24005, and that's the resolution that you're just addressing with the cancellation of the unexpended budget appropriations. These budget appropriations are from 2018 and 2019. And they're still on the books, so we have to go by resolution to actually cancel them off the books. So our process was to, you were going to ask a question.
No, I'm gonna wait till you finish.
Our process was to contact the departments, ask them what was the status of the particular grant. And they said if it was okay to keep them open or closed, because some grants run more than a year. Some of them are multiple years. They gave us the okay to cancel them. So that's why we are we're doing we did the 2 years together. So this is all of 2018 and 2019. Now, from your suggestion in regards to having them give us a summary of why these balances are still on the books, when we go to close out 2020 and 2021 and 2022, we will ask them to attach a summary. In regards to 2023, all of the departments will be doing this cancellation. The grants department will not be doing this cancellation. This would be the task of all of the departments.
Like that, Shay. Now, if you can just, I don't know these acronyms, is LAIF dash MLK roadway NT. What does that represent? Right under UEZ MLK shop parking lot.
Okay, that's a traffic and engineering grant.
So what does LAIF, what is that?
Can I get back to you on that? The exact acronyms?
What, Bark, do you know
It's
anything?
for the roadway. So it was probably for the repaving of the roadway. I'll get back to, I can.
Oh, he just told me what it stood for. So that's, I thought that's what it was. I just was trying to get confirmation. So there was almost $1 million given
Yes.
to repave MLK
Mhm.
that we didn't use.
They didn't use.
With
This
all
was in
with all of the repaving going on around this city and all of the complaints alone that and this is not directed at you, and all of the requests that my office have sent in alone, to see nearly $1 million go to waste. This is either incompetence, the lack of wanting to do your job, or just not caring. And this is unacceptable. It makes no sense for almost $1 million to not be utilized.
True.
This is wrong on every level.
Can I make a quick suggestion? Instead of us approving this, I appreciate the idea that we'll get the answers in the future, but for anything over, say, 50,000, can we get a summary before the council approves this?
Oh, yeah. We'll just Councilman will treat it as we do with the appropriation transfers. We'll ask for a line item for each one of these from each department before we cancel anything. So Councilman Gilmore, being as we're not entertaining this, those dollars will stay in those funds until we decide not to.
And then I guess so at this point, we can't use it, right? Because the period have eclipsed.
That is the case for most of them, that we can't go back and the grant periods are over.
But then there's a mechanism to reallocate it for that project. So we could work, the administration, the council could work with that together.
Can we, or we can't? Which one is it?
Some of them we can, but for these particular ones, we would have to have the departments go in and speak with the grantor to see if they can reallocate these actual funding. And some of these funds may have already been reallocated for other projects.
So when we get the breakdown, I guess, line by line of the money, can we know which ones we can carry over and which we can't?
Yes. Any more questions? Thank you.
Because we just trying to figure out all this money we've given back, and we're trying to figure out why all this money returned. That's it. That is a concern of ours. Now, somebody got an answer. Somebody got to give an account for it. That's a lot of money to be returning.
So council members, the administration is going to withdraw 10.3.
Okay.
You have another person to call, Council President? Maynard?
Good afternoon, Council President and council members. I have two resolutions from you tonight. First is agenda number 10.27, resolution 24-029. It's a resolution providing local support for Hazy Harvest LLC to operate a Class 5 cannabis business to be located at 398 Pacific Avenue. It was approved by the CCB on February 6th of 2023, Planning Board on September 19th of 2023, and they have 3 MOUs, and we also don't have any distance issues. Next one is agenda item number 10.28, resolution 24-030. It's also a resolution providing local support for Can XA Group LLC to operate a Class 5 retail cannabis business at 638 Municipal Avenue. That application was approved by the CCB on March 13th, 2023. The Planning Board on November 14th, 2023, and they also have 3 MOUs and no distance issues. 638 Municipal.
Questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. How are you? I have one item today, agenda number 10.22, resolution 24-24. This item is a request of mortgage discharge. The owner of 19 Bidwell borrowed $15,785 to repair their home through the homeowner repair program. They have met all the requirements of the lien, and we request that this mortgage be discharged. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Ike?
Good evening, Council President, members of council. Division of Transportation Planning has one resolution for consideration at the next meeting. It's agenda item number 10.26, resolution 24-028. This is a resolution to authorize the acceptance of an NJ JARC grant from New Jersey Transit to cover the cost of VIA transportation services. This is the second year in a row that we were awarded a grant from NJ Transit. Last year was the first year. It's again in the amount of $250,000 and requires a 50% match, which our budget covers through the covering the cost of the VIA system.
Do you know for this year how much the VIA contract will be? Or is that still being negotiated, and when should we expect to see that?
We'll be coming to council in the next meeting or two with the final renewal of the contract for the next year.
Okay. Council members, I'm going to take it right from the top. So first reading ordinance, item 3.1, city ordinance 24-001 is an ordinance to exceed the calendar year 2024 municipal budget appropriation limits to establish a cap bank.
I understand this ordinance has been done in the past as sort of, perfunctory move, but, given the commitment not to go above 2%, is this something that we should hold until, the budget actually comes?
Any items that haven't been represented by somebody tonight, we're going to pull. So that's one. Sean, we'll keep going through and then.
This is a budget one. I don't know.
Yeah.
But-
Pull it.
Okay. One will be withdrawn. Next, on to our second reading ordinances. Item 4.1 was touched on earlier. Item 4.2, City Ordinance 23-119 is an ordinance supplementing Chapter 332, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Traffic Regulations, amending Section 332-5, one-way streets, and Section 332-9, stop intersections to convert Bramhall Avenue between Van Horn Street and Pacific Avenue into a one-way street in the westbound direction and convert Bramhall Avenue and Woodwood Street into an all-way stop intersection. This one was carried from a previous meeting at the request of Councilperson Ridley. Are we still moving forward, Councilperson Ridley?
No, can we table this? We had a community meeting and the residents would like to see some traffic changes implemented on Pacific Avenue first to see if that helps with the Bramhall side. So can we table this for now?
So we'll carry it to the next,
No, I don't want to carry it. Can we put it on the tabled agenda?
So
or-
the way-
or withdraw it?
the way you would table it is if you would either hold a public hearing or you would not hold the public hearing and table it prior to the public hearing, and that would basically kill the ordinance and it would have to reintroduce an ordinance.
Yeah, I'd rather table it prior to,
The close of the public hearing?
yeah, because I don't want to get rid of it completely, because if they decide to, go back to this, I'd like us to be able to just pull it back without having to go through the whole process again.
So I would just need a motion at the meeting to make a motion to table prior to holding a public hearing, and I need a second, and we vote on the motion, and then we would vote to table it.
Okay.
All righty? All right, next, item 4.3, City Ordinance 23-126 is an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 160, Fees and Charges, Chapter 296, Streets, Sidewalks, and Public Rights of Way, Article 1, General Provisions, Duties of Property Owners, Occupants, and Closures, Article 2, Closure of Public Ways, Article 3, within the public right-of-way of Chapter 345, Zoning, Article 4, Fees, Deposits, and Inspections. Any questions? Hearing none, item 4.4, City Ordinance 23-127 is an ordinance supplementing Chapter 332, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 9, Parking for the Disabled of the Jersey City Code, designated reserved parking space at various locations throughout the city. Item 4.5, City Ordinance 23-128 is an ordinance revising the street names in the Bayfront redevelopment site. Next, we have our public speaking list, which is now at 38. And on to our petitions and communications. Any questions for items 6.1 through 6.29? Hearing none, we have no officer communications. Any questions or comments on report of directors 8.1 through 8.4? Hearing none, we have our claims and on to our resolutions. Item 10.1 was touched on earlier. Item 10.2, Resolution 24-004. It's a resolution adopting the calendar year 2024 cash management plan for the city of Jersey City. Item 10.3 has been withdrawn. Item 10.4, City Resolution 24-006 is a resolution authorizing renewal of a contract with NW Financial Group LLC to provide financial advisory services. Item 10.5, Resolution 24-007 is a resolution authorizing the calendar year 2024 reserve for uncollected taxes to be calculated using a 3-year average.
Sean, we're going to table that one as well.
Okay. Item 10.5 has been withdrawn. Item 10.6, Resolution 24-008 is a resolution strongly urging the New Jersey Department of Education to delay implementing their new preschool funding guidelines until the end of 2023 to 2024 school year. Item 10.7, Resolution 24-009 is a resolution honoring the 30th anniversary of the 14th Street Garden Center. Item 10.8, Resolution 24-010 is a resolution recognizing Queen Esther Walker on her 100th birthday. God bless. Item 10.9, Resolution 24-011 is a resolution reappointing Kelly Austin as a full-time judge of the Jersey City Municipal Court. Item 10.10, Resolution 24-012 is a resolution reappointing Janine Zampella as a member of the Jersey City Municipal Utilities Authority.
Clerk, and Council President, on 10.10 and 10.11, my office worked on a report we released a couple months ago on what are kind of generally called boat payments, but basically the retirement payments that people get for sick and vacation days, just to show that they're in compliance with the state law. And we saw that some of the contracts with the MUA weren't, we thought, in compliance. As a city, we were actually quite good. There was a couple of vague language as Jersey City goes, but for MUA. So I did want to reach out to the appointees and ask them to see if they can do a commitment to amend those contracts in their term. So I will try to do that outreach to them before Wednesday. Clerk, I have 10.10's contact information, but I don't have 10.11. So I don't know if you have an email or someone else does that might be able to share.
I'll be able to share that with you.
Great, thank you.
So 10.11, Resolution 24-013 is a resolution reappointing Kathleen Hardy as a member of the Jersey City Municipal Utilities Authority. Councilman, if I don't have an actual email address, was a phone number suffice for you?
Yeah,
Great,
thanks.
thank you.
We allowed to distribute that to the council members, or?
I don't see why that would be an issue. First Corporation Council or the BA?
Yeah, we could absolutely do it. Well, we just redacted so that it's not a public document, but we could share it with the electeds.
Thank you. Items 10.12 through the rest of the agenda has been taken care of earlier. So with that being said, may I have a motion to adjourn at 4:58 PM?
Motion.
Motion made by Councilperson Saleh. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Ridley. On the motion to adjourn at 4:58 PM, Councilperson Ridley. Councilperson Prinzary. Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon. Councilperson Gilmore. Councilperson DeJeece. Councilperson Rivera. And Council President Waterman. Motion carries 8-0 to adjourn at 4:58 PM. Thank you so much, everyone present and everyone watching at home. Remember, teamwork makes the dream work. Have a great night. Stay safe.
How about yourself?